So the first one, yesterday, we were talking about the new content about unemployment. Okay, if you recall, unemployment, we talked about four types. The first one is structural. This is the one that I mentioned about. It's a skill issue type of thing. They don't have enough skills to transit to another job. Singapore did experience this a few times as we were transiting from a developing to a developed nation. So this one, I leave it to you to think about the dates that I mentioned yesterday. Okay, recently in COVID, there was also one problem. Okay, the next one is frictional. Frictional, if you recall, is what I mentioned about you graduating. You do not have enough time to find a job yet. So you're still in between jobs. Frictional is kind of like in between jobs, in between. Last one is a bit weaker, is seasonal. Not very applicable to Singapore, but especially some jobs are only available during the seasons, be it winter-specific jobs such as, I don't know, skiing, or summer-specific jobs such as being at a lifeguard at the sea for American countries, which is more common, or things like a swimming coach maybe. The last one is the most important one, is cyclical. Okay, I'm going to draw a yellow circle around it. Now, cyclical is the most common one they'll test alongside growth and unemployment because, growth as well as inflation. So growth, inflation, and unemployment, three things are usually together. Cyclical unemployment is the result of the fall in AD. And when you describe unemployment, you've got to use the word derived demand. Derived demand means that when you demand for goods and services, naturally you will demand for things that are related to those goods and services. In this case, we are saying that labor is a derived demand, which makes sense. The example I gave yesterday was that when people want bubble tea, more bubble tea over the years, bubble tea vendors and firms, naturally they will want to find more people to make the bubble tea. And that's how labor gets employed. That's how unemployment falls. A very good example, if you think about it, in Singapore is for the Changi airports. So we have created terminals after terminals. And each time when the terminal is being built, in the news, they'll say it will create a certain amount of jobs, it would help the economy. This is an example of it. Because when you build an airport and people, naturally they demand for the aircraft services, they demand for food and beverages services over there at the airport or other related services, you will need people to fill up those roles. Okay, so if you walk away from this lesson forgetting everything, one of the things I hope you remember would be cyclical unemployment.